this is T with Monroe. We're back.
And this is Larry White.
I said this is T with Monroe, the podcast. Another episode. And this is Monroe Bishop. And then you go.
This is Larry White.
Exactly. I need you to follow protocol. I just changed it up just a little bit.
I need you to talk into the mic.
I'm talking into the mic. So what's been happening with you, honey?
You know everything that's happening with me.
I know everything that's happening with, but tell everybody else all the glorious things that are happening in your world other than myself. But seriously, what's going on?
Let's see.
What
is going on? Work and work.
You know, I just feel like every week we come, that's all you have to say is work.
Yeah.
You have a life outside of work.
Yeah. I probably do.
He's so boring. But if you haven't noticed, I am blonde. Not quite platinum like I wanted. I was trying to tap into my days when I looked like Eve when I was younger. But anyway, I went blonde because my husband wanted me to go blonde because he said blondes are more fun and that we have more fun. See, I like my blonde hair. And I shaved it too. I like it. So that's what I've been doing, is trying to decide what to do with my hair. And I just decided to go blonde. Yes, darling. Ooh. So it's been a very, well, it's the beginning of the week, but it's been a very long week. If I count last week. Had the grandbaby. She's in her terrible twos. Everything is hers. Everything is leave me alone, that we're mean to her. It's just like we are the worst grandparents ever until she wants something. But that's my baby. I can't stand him. What's all this personality when we're in the car? The podcast this, the podcast that.
We in the car.
Oh, so now the camera's on. We're recording. You get boring on me.
I don't know. I don't think I'm boring.
Well, anyway, last week we talked about financial infidelity. I got a lot of feedback on that particular episode, and I'm glad we did it because there's a lot of people out there struggling with the inability to communicate when it comes to their finances and just get past different hurdles in their relationship. And like I said before, finances is one of the number one things that impact relationships. And someone did notify me. They reached out and they were like, me and my hubby were going to buy a house. We were all excited. We get down to the housing, to the, the wherever they go buy houses. They're looking. No, the model homes. Go down to the model homes, talk to the realtor, just to get an idea of what you qualify for. Come to find out, he had borrowed money from the 401k, paid off all of his bills, didn't help her pay any of hers, and then...
Was it his 401k?
It was. But technically they're married, so... Yeah. But the thing about it is, if you're going to take out your 401k, I think it's just somewhat... That's something you should kind of share with us, especially if you're thinking about buying a house.
Yeah, that's kind of selfish.
Yeah, it was kind of selfish. And then he paid off a lot of bills, paid off credit cards, then ran the credit cards back up, went and got a personal loan to pay them down again, and he's back again where he started. I honestly think he has a problem. I think when somebody, now all of us are guilty of paying off our credit cards and reusing them, but getting to the point where you're using them to the limit, every single time where you got to pull from Peter and Ralph and Ronnie, Mike, and everybody to pay it back, I mean, that's crazy. That's crazy. So now she's having some very severe trust issues. She's having... it's really hurtful, and it makes her feel, it's her words, as if, she don't count, she don't matter, he don't respect the relationship or respect what they're trying to do. Or, I mean, even her main thing in the beginning was, you got this money and never offered even to help me pay off my credit cards. You know what I'm saying?
Because never like that. But
yeah, because because I mean, she remembered during that time they was going on trips. Then was she, she thinking, not really thinking at all about where, he made good money, not realizing that he's in credit card debt, which is major.
Yeah.
It's major. Girl, well, only thing I could tell, huh?
Who you talking to? Girl.
I'm just saying in general, like, I'm talking to the person who was talking to me.
Oh, yeah.
I wasn't talking to you.
Okay. Yeah.
Boy.
Yeah. Boy.
I'm just like, I mean, my heart broke. I felt bad. I mean, I got angry. I'm just like, bitch, what? I mean, I was really angry. I just, at the situation, I know them personally, and I think it was, that's a hard blow.
I know?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's a hard little blow to,
Who is it?
I ain't gonna say. It's anonymous.
Wow.
So if you got any tips or any feedback or any advice you want to give to the couple who who's been financially cheated on,
Well, you get to know and I don't know.
I'll let you know when I turn off everything. We'll pillow talk tonight. How about that? I think I've told you about this, but you don't listen to nothing I ever say. You really don't.
Yeah.
This is serious. You don't listen to me. You make me sick. Make me sick. Anyway, let me get to my sponsor. Okay, for those of you listeners of Tea with Monroe, the podcast, Audible is offering a free download with a free 30-day trial to give you an opportunity to check out their service. So to download your free audiobook, go to audibletrial.com/Tea with Monroe. Again, that's audibletrial.com/Tea with Monroe. And also, it would definitely be in my show notes, so you could check it out there. And also, you get a free audiobook with your 30-day free trial. And I shared this on all my social media outlets. One of my favorite books that I've just finished listening to was American Marriage. I listened to Kindred by Octavia Butler. Who else? Queen Sugar. I know y'all watched the Queen Sugar show, but the book, a little different. I can't say it's better or worse. I think the show is more dynamic, but the book is really, really good. Just a lot of different things, a lot of books you could download. And yeah, check it out. Especially if you like to read and you spend a lot of time in traffic, in Houston traffic. It'll be very beneficial. Okay. I know that's right. So this week we're discussing... What are we discussing? Let me see if you remember. What are we discussing?
Whatever topic you pick.
Monogamy.
Yes.
I ran this by you earlier. You don't remember?
Mm-hmm.
So you couldn't say that to everybody. Just left me hanging.
Mm-hmm.
So just in general, I'm just gonna throw this question out there: are we meant to be monogamous? Are we meant to be a monogamous species? Humans, are we meant to be monogamous? Forget everything you heard, everything you learned, everything you know. Just think about that question. Are we meant to be monogamous? And then we'll go from there.
For them, that's for me.
It's for you!
Oh, yes, we are. Yes, we are.
You really think we were meant to be monogamous?
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think that? I didn't say if you believe in monogamy. Do you think that we are meant to be monogamous?
Yes,
Why do you think that?
Because we are.
Why?
Because we got that ability.
I didn't say we didn't have the ability. Because monogamous is a taught thing. It's not an instinct thing. It's a taught thing. So we're taught to be monogamous. I didn't ask you that. I said, are we meant to be?
We are.
Just based on the history, how everything has transpired through history, and you literally think we're meant to be monogamous?
Yes, I do.
Whew, Lord have mercy. I think I may have asked the wrong question. Is it realistic for us to be monogamous?
Yes, it is.
I need you to expound on this because I'm having a real hard time. It doesn't make any sense.
I'll let you expound, then I'll expound.
No,
what do you think? Why is it not? Based on the history. Tell me the history that you know.
Well, just based on my limited historical research that I've done, and just just thinking about everything that as we go through as humans and how we have evolved, I do not think we are meant to be a monogamous species. How many mammals out there are monogamous? Not very many of them. Because if you look at the traits is you mate and then you move on, you leave your young, or sometimes you don't, or you leave the mother with the young and the male goes on and mates with somebody else. And even through the time and through the history, men were doing the same thing, if not having more than one wife, concubine, whatever.
Right.
And it's just so happened in the past 10 years. Now, I may be getting my numbers wrong, because I read somewhere that it has been in the past maybe 10, 20 years that monogamy has taken the forefront over non-monogamy, whereas men were basically having more than one wife or more than one female counterpart. And it shows in history too, where women, because especially if she came with wealth, she could potentially have more than one husband, which goes into I'm looking at my notes, polygamy, which is a man having more than one wife, and the polyandry, which is a woman having more than one husband. We'll talk about polygamy in a second. I just want to talk about monogamy right now. I think even though I believe in monogamy, I don't necessarily believe that we are instinctively meant to be monogamous. So tell me why you think we are. I'm interested.
Okay, I'll go ahead and talk.
Please.
All right, so you said something key. You said history of man. We're the only creature that has the capability of choosing our mate. We're the only creature. Well, choosing it consciously, choosing it. We're not the only creature. We are one of the only creatures. There's maybe like 2 or 3 other creatures, mammals, that actually mate with the same person. They actually make a conscious choice.
Animal.
Yeah, they make a conscious choice, but we're the only person that consciously chooses, have the ability of free will. Not instinct, not wildness, not anything like that. So, God, ability given to us by God through free will. So when you ask me, are we meant? Based on my understanding, we are meant, because God made man, He made woman.
See, that's why I asked you to clear your mind of all of that. Just think about our human instincts.
This is human instincts. We're the only creature that can do this.
I think you're overthinking what I'm asking you.
I'm not overthinking it. I'm telling you that we see all of that other. I'm telling you, we're the only creature that can make a conscious choice. And that's the only thing that keeps us from being in chaos. Without the family nucleus, without the understanding of the network of the family, we cannot. We can't have it. It would be disorder.
Yes, we are wired.
So we are all wired to want to do whatever we want to do.
We're wired to sexually be attracted to many people. And I think I didn't say that, but what I'm saying is we're wired for this, genetically wired. We're not wired to be attracted to one person. I'm not saying it's right. What I'm saying is that we're not.
Let me say this. Let's say back in the day where there were multiple. Let's say the man had multiple concubines and women, like you said back in the day. If I go mess with a man's concubine, and they can probably try to kill me or put me to death or whatever it was, whatever the rule of the law was back then. So it was a conscious choice. Now, and I know you say clear my mind and all that, but I can't clear my mind because it was this way in the beginning.
It wasn't this way in the beginning.
Yes, it was. In the beginning, there was one
even
man
though,
and one
even
woman.
though, even though God set
There was,
the standard
there
or
was
set
one
the
man.
precedence of how things should be, different parts of history show where that was done differently. And again, I don't want to. I'm trying to keep from going biblical with it because I don't want to take it biblical because I just want us to
I'm
really
not
go
taking-
deep in this
I'm not taking it
conversation.
biblical. I'm telling you, there was one. It was one man, one woman. All right. So, and without marriage,
A man has 6 ribs.
without marriage, without two becoming one. No, it has to be a legally like so-called marriage, but people made a choice. These two people connected and they were together. When something else happened, when a woman went outside, she was put to death. I don't care. That was probably from the beginning. It was hurt or it was some pain. A woman.
So where do we go off track? Because you are a history person. So where do we go off track? Because I do have that women have been monogamous for centuries. It's usually the men who are non-monogamous, and they were allowed to have concubines, side families up into the 50s and 60s before it came kind of socially unacceptable.
It was always unacceptable, but the problem was that people push and do what they want to do. It has always been unacceptable. Now that's an excuse when a man says it's okay. You got to remember. If a woman did it, it's all hell that'll break loose. So it's really not an acceptable thing.
Monogamy is a discipline. We're actually
Yes,
taught. We're taught to
Exactly.
We're taught to be monogamous.
It's
So
a
don't you think it is a discipline? So don't you think that if men, young boys, men when they have young boys, what do they glorify in the young boys?
Let's say this: you take
They
kids.
they glorify. Oh, you got more than one girl. That's my boy. Let's get it. So it's like they don't impose consequences for the behavior. So it becomes
So
okay.
it's a taught behavior.
Yeah. So
Okay,
kids,
so-
so boys are taught it's okay to have all these women, but if girls are taught it's not okay to have all these men.
Okay.
Which is a double
what's
standard.
the point?
The point I'm trying to make is monogamous wouldn't be, because actually I came up with this, I didn't come up with the
So,
topic, but I
yes,
wanted to
sir.
talk about the topic because a lot of the millennials now that I've talked to and some of the ones that I've seen, they don't subscribe to monogamy. They don't
Doesn't
believe.
matter. Okay.
We're having a conversation.
It's a taught behavior. It is a taught, whether it's taught to be loose or whatever you want to call it.
So why do you think
whether it's taught to be monogamous, whatever you want to say, it is taught either which way. So let's say you take some kids that they raise in the wild, right?
like they are now?
No, seriously.
They are, seriously.
Let's say there's some kids that's raised by wolves, right? So let's say they raised and the girls, 5 girls, 5 boys. Do you know that they're gonna pair up? And once they pair up, it's gonna be a jealousy, it's gonna be an anger, it's gonna be a fight, it's gonna be some barriers and some turf, and it's gonna be
It depends. It depends.
No, this is what's gonna happen. And the guy's gonna choose the girl. He's gonna be the protector. He's gonna be the dominant. A natural order of things is gonna take place. And guess what? They're gonna pair up.
Well,
and they're gonna go
women
their separate ways.
instinctively act that way because we're looking for a protector or provider, for somebody to feed us, to help take care of our kids. Men are not necessarily looking for those
now
things.
let's say this man want to do whatever he want to do. He go get
And
this
he's
woman,
going to.
and he gonna do that one. But it's still a discipline that is.
Let's just
It
talk.
has to be there. It has
Let's
to be.
just talk about in general
for
why
civilization.
monogamy is not something. Why? Because polygamy is on the rise. It is on the rise. I don't think it ever went anywhere. But why do you think monogamy is not as important to people as it was before?
Because men have finally convinced women to let me have more than one of y'all again.
You know
And-
why? Because men are taught to cheat. They're
Exactly.
not taught to be faithful.
Exactly. Well, they are taught to be faithful.
They're not taught to be
No,
faithful.
no, that's not true. They're taught that they can do more and get away with more.
Exactly.
But they are taught the society says, hey, you can only marry one woman. Not to say that you taught to be. If you go to church, or if you go to, if you have any kind of, the woman will teach you to be faithful. It's going to be there. Most of the time, a woman is going to have such jealous rage or whatever. Now, I will admit that it's a society teaching a society. So, because it was at one point acceptable that you can have more than one wife, but when you got them married, it wasn't all about, oh, I got multiple women. It was about taking care of. You were given as a bride. You were given to a man. He could have multiple wives, but you was given to be taken care of.
Right.
So when the woman left the house, they knew that you would take care of my daughter. My daughter have a place in your home.
Right.
And because that's how it was. And even when they said when the husbands, well, let's say my brother's wife, I would have to take her on into my house. I would marry her into my house. But guess what? That didn't mean I slept with her. That meant that she became part of my household.
Right.
It told me to take care of my brother's wife. And if he died, she became mine. To make sure she always had a place. That is how this worked. That's how that society thing worked. So it wasn't all about, oh, I got multiple wives and I sleep with all of them. They did.
And then a lot of times men want to carry on their lineage. They want to carry on their seed. And if a woman...
And that was one of the ways that we populated the earth.
Right.
Was they had more, but it had to have structure. So it was Christian, son of Larry.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It was Charity, daughter of Larry and Antoinette.
Right.
You know, it was that's how you was named. That's how they knew who you were. Your lineage, from Christian. It could be Larry from Houston, Christian son of Larry from Houston.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? That's kind of how it went. So
we got a lot of celebrities now buying in. So do you think when people buy into non-monogamous relationships is a self-gratifying type behavior, so they can it's an excuse to be able to do what they want to do? So here's the thing though. A lot of women today, a lot of women don't want to get married, but a lot of women do want to marry. We dream of getting married, having a house, picket fence, kids, whatever. We go our career route, whatever. We want to be with somebody. Mm-hmm. And a lot of men are a little bit more apprehensive about marrying than women. So is it, I just feel like if I'm going to date somebody, I'm married. So, I'm just saying hypothetically, if I wasn't married, I didn't even think about this when I was younger. But I probably would have committed myself to one person in a long-term relationship, and knowing that it's a possibility he may not want to marry me, I would have kept my options open. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm sleeping with everybody, but I would have definitely entertained other relationships and been with the person who that stuck, that I liked and wanted to marry. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because y'all are, even though you always say we're the gatekeeper and we the one that control the situation, but y'all keep us at a standstill because we want commitment. We want a relationship. We want marriage. We want commitment. We just want somebody to protect us, love us financially, physically, mentally. And if you don't do that, what are we left? And then a lot of men are they tell women, if you accept your man cheating, you weak. And if you let your man cheat, or not necessarily cheat, but have an open relationship, let your man have an open relationship, because usually in an open relationship, a lot of times it's the men who do more of the stuff than women. Right. In my mind, you're weak. It's like we are downplaying ourselves or not valuing ourselves because we're okay. Because upon this research, I listened to a lot of YouTube videos of a lot of open relationships, mm-hmm. and a lot of women was like, I'm a monogamous, I'm sexually monogamous, but I'm okay with us having an open relationship. he's free to do, I'm free to do. Why are we so accepting of this behavior if it's, in your words, is not meant for us to be doing? Why is it socially acceptable now? Even the kids are buying into
I
it.
believe that women, okay, there's several things happening. I believe some of these relationships, there are a lot of women that are into women nowadays.
You said women into women?
Yes, I believe that. I believe that that it's.
What does that got to do with anything? They could be in a monogamous or non-monogamous.
It could be, but I believe that there's a lot of that. So a lot of times when women always want to be in control of the relationship, no matter what, even if they make the man think that they're in control of the relationship. So if a man gonna do all that and they have to accept it or whatever, they want it, either if there's another woman in play and they bring it in and they're making it acceptable. A lot of times the woman is part of it. If it's open and they doing all that, he can do her, she can do him. My personal feelings, if a man don't care what his woman do, I don't think he care about her very much.
Interesting.
So if she can just go and do whatever,
Is that the same the other way around also? If a woman allows her man to do whatever, that she don't care about him very much?
no.
Why is it different?
I think some women would tolerate.
Why do you think we tolerate it?
I think women would tolerate to have because in America, not all over the world, in America, there is a shortage of
Men.
Not necessarily men, because you can go outside your race and there's men there, but you will. I mean, who knows what you get with that too? But in the black community, there's a acceptable on a lot of women. Then a lot of women don't take it. They don't, and they walk away. And if you got a habitual cheater, you need to walk away because you're gonna get your feelings hurt.
I think we allow some of these things into these standards, these new standards into our lives, because just like you said, we desire, want to be with somebody, and this is why I say monogamy is not. It's not coded in us. I think polygamy is. I think it's inbred in our DNA, because women will open up and allow men to explore. We bring other women in. We allow them to. We swing. We'll allow them to be with other women, because we want to keep our man. And it's the same thing that happened during the course of history. If you think about it, a woman has very little power. A man is only going to be as monogamous as he wants to be. And if he does not want to be monogamous, he's going to, without saying, they're going to let you know, this is not who I am.
Let me say this then. Anybody has the capability of physically sleeping with anybody. That's just what it is. Anybody can go do that, okay? Men are taught to go out and hunt and look and try to get a woman. That's what you're supposed to do when you're trying to find a mate. You're supposed to be out.
Mate.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's the key word, mate.
Okay,
to
change my
procreate.
thought process.
Okay, go ahead.
So any man is taught to do that, and so even when you egg a young boy on, hey, go boy, you got all these girls, it's okay at that age because they are not there. Watch that boy get older, and that boy get older, and the boy get up in his age, and he has his parents, and they watching his son out here doing all this. They like, man, you be careful. All these, you're gonna end up getting hurt by one of these women. Or you can't keep doing it. You're too old for that. It's a maturity thing.
That's the only time they settle down, I read, is when they get old and can't.
Well, I'm not saying old. I'm just saying older. It's a maturity thing. So let's see a dad seeing his son out there doing that young, and if that son get older, that dad is like, whoa, you need to, hey, man, you gotta, you just like that, but you better, hey, you're gonna have to. It's gonna be usually there's a little taming back if the dad is mature. He gonna try to tame his son back, or a mother, think it's okay for her son, but then as they get older, it's like, you too old to be doing that stuff.
Right.
So the point is that you said that it's just natural. Polygamy just in us, or whatever you want to say. Polygamy. I necessarily don't say polygamy. I'm just saying you have to be taught discipline. So discipline is a taught thing.
So do you think discipline is less taught now in today's society than it was before?
No, I would
it's
say
about the
this,
same?
that you were going to naturally gravitate towards monogamy, but you will start off in a polygamy. You will naturally go into a monogamy. I know you don't believe that, but I'm telling you that is what happens with human beings, because we do have the ability of free will, we have the ability of thought, we have the ability of reason, we have the ability to communicate through language,
right?
And we have the ability to I don't know. Just think of what we can do. All the things we can do. We are separate from animals. So you brought it in as that's part of the nature of animals, is that just to do whatever they want to do in that way. But you could start off that way. It may be fun or maybe whatever, but it's gonna naturally gravitate towards pairing.
So what do you think about the what's his name? The Hollywood Squares, D. Ray Davis. He lives with two women. That's just the way he do things.
D. Ray found two women that want to be with man and woman, and
so that makes all the difference if she wants to be with a woman also.
Well, put it like this: if D. Ray gonna go get in a relationship with a man and both of the woman,
I couldn't find anybody in the celebrity world that's like that, but there are people out there where it's one woman and two men. Yes.
Well, I'm gonna say this: they may work like that, but I don't
even
know.
Nick Cannon. Nick Cannon,
that?
he was on the Breakfast Club, and I meant to watch that episode again today, but I listened to it a few weeks ago, and he divorced his wife, and he'll never remarry, and he takes, even though him and his wife are divorced, he takes care of her as if they're still married. But he would never marry again, and he says he is not meant. Not Nick Cannon. Yes, no, Damon Wayans. Sorry.
Oh, he's married to Monroe.
I meant Marlon Wayans. I'm sorry. Is it Marlon Wayans? The Marlon Show. It's Marlon Wayans. Sorry, Nick Cannon. Boo boo. Sorry. Marlon Wayans. Yeah. He said that he would never remarry, and he believes. He said. He used God in it also. I can't remember exactly what he said, but basically, he said it's not natural for men to be with one person. He says it's just not natural.
That's his opinion.
And you're doing, basically doing a woman a disservice by even doing that. I mean, you need to be honest with people.
I'll go get another wife.
But a lot of men, it's so funny. When I was reading my articles, a lot of men want to have more than one, but they can't handle it. You know why? For one thing, it's financially not feasible. And the second thing is mental, because the women drive their ass crazy. Yeah. And a lot of people who are actually practicing, we're going to go into polygamy now, are Mormons. Like sister wives and sister husbands, they have more than one wife, and they all live as a community. And and to not necessarily go and play on polygamy, but monogamy, non-monogamy is another thing. Is a lot of women were accepting of it because they like the fact. I forgot what era it was in, but doing a lot of different war. I think it was. I can't remember, but a lot of wars were going on. The men would go off and fight, but they would have more than one wife. Mm-hmm. The women took solace in each other, became friends, helped take care of each other's children. They came together as community, and they were non-Mormons. And they liked the fact that they had a friend or somebody that they can share the man with and share the responsibility with, and do things that way. They won't be alone in times of desperation during that era. So it's this is a benefit to us to have more than one wife in the house. So, but now the Mormons, and I think I don't even know if it's any states where it's legal to be married to more than one person.
They practice it in Utah. That's where the largest Mormon population, but I think it's still illegal.
Ooh.
I believe it's not really a legal.
It's illegal, but it's not. They don't enforce the law where put them in jail like some states would.
Right. It is. You only legally married to one woman, but you probably claim other women as your wife.
Now, why are we putting these people in jail if they claim other people as their wife? Why?
Because the law state only one woman. Because marriage is between two people. It's a contract. So when you start allowing, they've already
we have
did
same-sex marriages.
They've already did.
Not to be. I'm not against any of that, but what I'm saying is,
I am, but I had no problem.
But what I'm saying is, you're open to all these other things. Why can't you marry more than one person?
Okay, that's what I'm saying. They have allowed it. They have forced it down people's throat, where it has been a traditional. It has been.
What you mean, polygamy?
No.
Same-sex marriage.
Same-sex marriage. So I was going with, if you start allowing polygamy, then you'll start allowing other things. Like you don't have any boundaries on things. People want to marry trees. People want to marry animals.
So not right.
No, that's the truth though. People want to marry kids.
I've read that.
There's all
I've read people marrying trees, marrying animals.
So it has to be a defined definition of marriage, and that has been changed. So now people are pushing Mamla and different people like that, trying to deal with kids, and different groups out there trying to make things more acceptable. Even Hollywood, which has been recently exposed, were pushing through their movies and stuff, trying to sexualize society as much as possible now. America is probably one of the most uptight.
The Western world is a lot more uptight than a lot of other countries.
Western is Europe, America. West. That's when you say it. So
they use the term Western.
You mean America.
America, okay.
Okay, because Europe is not, and then in Middle East is really not. They're really
liberal.
No,
liberal when it comes to not liberal.
You get your head cut off. You take your hat off your head. If you show your hair in most Middle Eastern countries. So, I may be extreme on my words. Your head cut off. But what I'm saying is, a lot of them are Muslim nations, and a lot of them are. They are not liberal. They're very, certain things you just shouldn't do. Which Western culture, which is more, you get to choose your mate. You get to choose certain things. That's a Westernized culture. That's more of that kind of a thing. So, I forgot where I was going with that. But the point is that. What were you saying about Western? What did you say?
Well, they basically was saying, I say Western just I think about Americas when I say Western. I don't necessarily think about the European areas like that. They saying that we're a lot more stringent when it comes to monogamy compared to a lot of other countries. Right. Now, a lot of other countries do not support it, but they don't enforce it legally and put people in jail and different things like that.
Their rules they probably have some loose.
So I do have a big problem with putting people in jail for living what they coin as their best life. I mean, that's them, because technically you could say you're married to Jane, Ann, and Barbara, but you're not. And I watch Sister Wives, and I know everybody can go to jail except for that main wife. The husband can go to jail, and the other quote unquote wives will go to prison, but the one that's legally married to the man would have no legal repercussions against her whatsoever, because she's legally married to him, and she has no control over who he says he's married to, basically.
Well,
but polygamy is big. I mean, could you have more than one relation?
I'm gonna stress me out.
Look,
okay, look, go on over there.
Part of me sometimes feel like we just don't even have it. Women don't have a choice in the matter anymore. Either you want to be with somebody or you don't. And I don't necessarily, I'm not judging anybody because I don't necessarily think you're compromising yourself if that's what you choose to do. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like it's your own personal preference. Is it for me? Probably not, but honestly, I would rather for a man to tell me, you know what, look, I love you, but I want to be with other people. Let me make that decision whether or not I want to live your non-monogamous life. You know what I'm saying? Don't make that decision for me. And I think a lot of men do that because out of selfishness. They don't even realize a lot of women may be okay with that just to have a man. Because some women believe that having a piece of man is better than having no man at all. I personally, I always say it would be nice to have somebody around here to help me with a few things. You know what I'm saying? But then you get selfish. We're jealous.
Look, that's what I said. You're gonna gravitate to the pairing of it's not gonna last.
But you know who is also pushing this agenda?
Who's that?
Kids do not subscribe. When I say kids, you mean 18 and older.
They don't know no better.
They're not subscribing to monogamous relationships.
18-year-olds shouldn't even be able to vote because they don't even know. They haven't lived. You have to know what you're dealing with before you go out there. I'm not saying that they can't vote. I'm just saying they really shouldn't be able to vote because we have not taught them anything. They haven't lived on their own and experienced anything to know what they even want to vote for. So how they gonna say what they want as far as what they want to constitute what actually works? Things that haven't been gotten this far, the way it is, and this is the most powerful country or or whatever it is, we're having chaos and disorder like that. Mm-hmm. You can't just go have kids, and you can, but you can't just be a barbaric society and be a prosperous society. Okay, so if you did that, your brothers would be marrying brothers, and brothers would be marrying sisters, and sisters would be marrying
and that's another thing I read too, that brothers were mating with the same woman to carry on their lineage. I don't know what era this was in. I thought maybe you would know.
Sounds like some era of made up.
I read it though.
I don't care what you read. That sounds like the era of made up, like, because you don't need that to carry your lineage.
Well,
you can. Your lineage is carried through the male anyway. That's how they looked at it. So why would you need the one woman to have the same brothers?
She was married to all three brothers.
That's
I'm
crazy.
just telling you what I read.
That's something that's some damn feminists excuse my language, guys, I'm sorry, but some feminists done wrote and put something together, and that's some bull crap. I ain't never heard that before.
I just think non-monogamy is used as a tool to manipulate, to be able to get out there and take advantage of all your sexual desires and whatever it is that you want to do, instead of just being honest with people. I'm not ready to settle down. Just say you're not ready to settle down. You know what I'm saying? And then there's genuinely people out there who actually choose to be in open relationships. When I tell you, and I scanned YouTube, I couldn't watch all the videos, but there were so many people in happy, solid, loving, open relationships, and they were okay, they were fine, and yeah, I don't know. I don't have all the answers. I just feel like you got to do what's best for you, and I don't think we're meant to be a monogamous. We're not just meant to be monogamous.
I say we are. So there you go.
So we disagree. We don't disagree often, do we? Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. So if you want to be a part of this conversation talking about monogamy, definitely, if you got something to say, reach me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, #T with Monroe, TWM Podcast. #me, TWM podcast and be a part of this conversation. I would love to hear for you to weigh in on your opinion of monogamy and how you feel about people who choose to be in non-monogamous relationships, polygamy relationships, and or if you're an expert or you're in a polygamy relationship or an open relationship, definitely want to hear about it. So yeah, hit me up, Twitter, Facebook, what else did I say? Instagram. Real quick, anonymous team. Hey y'all, I need some advice about a close friend. Sometimes we are good and having a great time, although most times she can be, this is weird. Sometimes we are good and having a great time, although most times she can be judgmental, selfish, and condescending. I also feel she always tries to one-up me or turn the conversation back to her. I just feel like this relationship is not needed going forward, although I do not know the steps to properly end it. And I know I'm the only one, I'm one of her only closest friends. Any advice? Anything is a toxic relationship, let that shit go. I don't give a darn if she has no other friends at all. If it's not benefiting you, if it's not uplifting you, making you a better person, making her a better person, you don't want to be in a relationship with somebody where you're competing and they're trying to beat you down to build themselves up. That is not a friendship. Let your people go.
I would say no, don't do that. I would say to have a conversation. Let them know that this is the way you feel and it needs to stop. Even if it's not true, you don't need to feel that way. And let her discuss her issues or whatever about it, and then y'all come to a mutual decision whether you want to go further with your relationship as friends or whatever, staying friends or not. But she deserves a conversation. And she deserves to at least know what you're feeling so that she can change her ways, or you can rethink the way you are perceiving something. Okay, so
let your people go, girl. It is not worth it. Let me tell you something.
You deserve a conversation.
I'm not saying that it doesn't. I'm not saying it doesn't deserve a conversation, but anything that does not make you feel good or disturbs your peace.
It's not about all your feelings.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Yes, it
That's
is.
What's wrong with people right now.
Well, people or women?
That's why people go get in a monogamous relationship. It's all about how they feel. No.
Look, you don't have
control and discipline.
Let me tell you something. Life is too short and life is too long to be in unfulfilled relationships with anybody. If somebody has to tear you down and make you feel some type of way to build themselves up, let your people go. I'm not saying don't have a conversation. Let her know you letting her ass go. Read my lips. Let her go. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Have a conversation, and if she's willing to make some changes, absolutely. If you feel like it's worth going a little further to repair, that's fine. But just know this your last chance. Okay? If you start acting selfish, judgmental, and condescending, let your people go. I don't care what he's saying.
Sometimes you want to slow down because a relationship, whether it's male, female, or
stress
friend,
kills.
Sometimes you can move too fast
and do what? Clearly, she's thought about this. This is something that has been going.
I'm not saying she's not wrong with thinking about it. I'm just saying have the conversation so that she might can even establish a friendship. Just because the person that's doing it may not know. She said a close friend. Sometimes we are good.
They have good times and they have their not so good times. Okay.
So that means that
okay.
This person, you don't know what this person is harboring. She could feel some sort of way, or because something you've done.
Just recognize dysfunction. He's right. You definitely should have a conversation just to get an idea of where they're coming from and what's going on. They may be going through something they have not shared with you. He's right. Have the conversation, especially if you all have been friends for a very long time. Hear what?
Say it again.
What I say? He's right.
I can't say it.
All right, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Tea with Monroe, the podcast. Be sure to check me out on Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, Google Play, Stitcher Radio, YouTube. And don't forget to get your Audible subscription at audibletrial.com/Tea with Monroe to get your reading on. And what else? Patreon. Donate to Patreon. Okay, everybody. I think that's it. We have not served the world. We have not solved the world problems, but we definitely gave our opinion on monogamy. Okay? And we out. Bye.